no, I'm not concerned. And it's not just due to the fact that we're all getting sick of sitting in our bedrooms and lounges and want to get back to our offices, or worrying about the cat walking in the background of the Zoom meeting. Having said that, there is justifiable concern globally about the effect that remote working could have on the commercial real estate markets of the world, and especially when it comes to office space in urban areas. But these concerns, for the most part, don't really apply to Cayman. In larger cities, for example, most people have to travel to work using public transport, crowded elevators in tall buildings, and sit in crowded cafes and public areas for coffee and lunch. And so these places are obviously not going to be as attractive post-COVID. In contrast, even in our worst rush hour, we sit in the comfort of our own cars for the most part, admiring tropical views, and then go to work in very relatively spacious, low-density office communities like Cabana Bay or Georgetown Center, in smaller, low-rise buildings, for the moment anyway. So we're not really urban in that big city sense. And most people, the travel time here, in the worst day, is 45 minutes to an hour. And many live within 5 to 10 minutes of their office or closer. So the benefits of working remotely here in Cayman are not as great, I don't think. In terms of office space being released, because of it's not being needed due to working remotely, at least in the short to medium term, social distancing will actually require more space to fit the same number of people into. So again, density of offices use of offices will change. And the most likely solution is probably some sort of hybrid shift system, with people working different hours from home and then some at the office. I mean, one of the side benefits, of course, to this would be the great news that we'll spread the traffic throughout the day. And in the process, solve one of Cayman Islands' biggest pre-COVID problems, the rush hour. So office space, may well end up being redesigned to accommodate, and some tenants may choose to downsize over time, depending upon the nature of what they do. However, with most on long-term leases, any reduction will likely be spread over a 3 to 5 year period, if it happens at all. And I say if it happens at all because we also have another positive dynamic in play at the moment in the commercial office space market that will likely more than compensate for any downsizing due to remote working. And that's the new economic substance regulations. I mean, we've been signing leases for entities that need to be compliant with this throughout COVID. And this trend should increase over the coming months as the regulations are enforced. So, in fact, our overall expectation for the commercial office space market is to continue to steadily grow as opposed to decline in the short to medium term. Of course, tourist retail, food and beverage markets, as Matthew alluded to, will continue to be hardest hit. But if we can open our borders in the relatively near future, there's no reason why we won't be able to see some sort of start of recovery by the end of the year in this market as well. It will be tough, and we understand that, but we will adapt. By the way, on the commercial sales side, we've just actually gone to contract for a Georgetown office building, which is expected to close this month to a European-based investment fund. So again, the outside view of Cayman and the fact that it's viewed as being resilient and the confidence of investors is a very positive trend that we're seeing, and that's one example of that. So generally speaking, commercial doesn't tend to get hit as hard as residential in any crisis. And of course, the finance industry here is largely responsible for that. And thank you for that. But I think the prognosis is it will be a stable market over the next 2 years.